Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Devilish Serpents. How the devil are you? I'm Jacob. I'm keeper of these fabulous Hognose snakes. Here's Astrid here. Don't know if she's in the shot or not, but she's staring at me. You should be digesting, actually. You just laid a clutch and you've got a big mouse in you. So I've been radio silent on this channel for months now, and I have a pretty good reason, and that is I entered professional life in Germany. I'm working in a foreign land with a foreign language that I'm still an amateur in. It's not easy, it's not natural for me still. Yeah, but it's been quite intense, and any spare time I've had has been full relaxing. I haven't been feeling like getting in front of a camera in my spare time. I need to relax, you know. However, I'm much more settled now, things are much more easier, starting to feel much more natural, and yeah, let's get to the hoggy business. I'm excited to tell you that Astrid laid her first ever clutch for me. She was my original snake, the OG baby hognose. Ecstatic, 18 healthy eggs for her first time. I was a bit shocked because Cersei, who gave me my first ever clutch ever, it was her first clutch, and she laid a pretty small clutch a couple of seasons ago. It was 9 eggs, 1 slug, and it wasn't great quality either. Because normally the lady hognose, the first ever clutch, can be quite small and not best of quality while their reproductive system warms up. Not for Astrid, she was ready to go. I think it was such a big healthy clutch for her first time because I gave her an extra year to mature on top of what is ethically and generally accepted, which is the 3-year mark or 300 grams. I don't really monitor the weight for breeding purposes. It doesn't really matter as long as they're not underweight, they're fine. I do tend to maturity is much more important, and this is kind of solidified for me that I've waited till year 4 and she's produced such a healthy big clutch without any issues getting them out at all as well. I think I can attribute some of it to Astrid is the girl that I gave a varied diet to, where once or twice a month she gets salmon for the extra benefits, and I really do think that's helped a lot. So I've been catching up on the channel this weekend because I haven't even looked at the channel in about 3-4 months, something like that. So there's comments that I had to catch up on that it just looks like I've ignored. I just wasn't here at all. One of my last videos, specifically the video experimenting with Astrid and the varied diet with salmon specifically, a lady called Holly left a comment that caught my eye. And part of the comment was she was asking if I have any breeding projects this year where the varied diet is being used for the breeding snakes. And yes, like I said, Astrid was the varied diet experiment snake, and she just laid her first ever clutch of eggs. I made a whole video about introducing the salmon to Astrid's diet, as well as all the benefits, the extra vitamins, all the different opinions around feeding hognose, and it's a bit more of an in-depth look into what can we actually give our hognose to eat and what should we give our hognose to eat. But the holy grail vitamin from that video that I talked about is a vitamin called selenium. What selenium does is it helps with DNA synthesizing, helps with thyroid issues, so it helps avoid obesity, which is something that plagues our beloved hognose in captivity. Obesity is a big problem in this hobby. Sometimes I'm scrolling through Instagram and I get a little bit sad because some of these girls, it can't be nice to pull that weight around all year round. But most importantly, selenium improves overall reproductive health. It's just the holy grail of vitamins that you can give your hognose, and it's found in salmon. So yeah, that's the 2 attributes I give to such a big healthy clutch for the first time. Extra time to mature, varied diet with salmon, which includes selenium. In Holly's comment, she also points out that egg binding is such a problem nowadays, and yes it is, I wholeheartedly agree. 5-6 years ago egg binding was a rare occasion. Now egg binding is a common occasion. It's something that people are expecting and waiting to happen to their hognose, and this isn't normal. We're all acting like it's normal, it isn't. And I see breeders using calcium powder at, you know, Pablo Escobar levels to try and mitigate this issue. It's obviously not the calcium powder that's the issue. They don't need more calcium powder, because people are using copious amounts of calcium powder to the point where the snake's having more calcium powder than actual mouse in their meal, and they're still egg binding. So calcium's not the issue. Stop with the calcium powder. Holly also mentioned lack of muscle tone could be an issue for the egg binding, and definitely. Let's just use logic. You put a snake in a tiny box like that big. I'm on about, you know, like a ready to breed female in a racking box about that big. They've got no room to move. They don't even need to move because they've got a water dish to the right of their head. Sometimes their keeper feeds them a mouth to the left of their head, and that's all they do. So they're never using their body, so they can't grow, or they can't even use the muscles they already have. So their muscles aren't toned, that they're never used. They can't, you know, just nothing ever happens. They have no reason to move, and then we're expecting them to push 18 Tic Tacs out of their rear end, and they just haven't got the strength to push them out. And so I suspect that might have something to do with egg binding as well. It's just lack of exercise for these snakes, and their bodies are just not strong enough to push these things out. Obviously, I do think it's a lot of different things adding up to egg binding issues, but it's something the community needs to look into more and address. I can't investigate every aspect of egg binding on my own. It would be great if, you know, the communities come together through all the breeders and the thousands of hognose that all the breeders have collectively. They could definitely get to the root cause of these egg binding issues if they wanted to. Anyway, that's all from me from today. Just a quick little update video and the excitement of eggs. Astrid's clutch is a Arctic toffee clutch, so I'm very excited for those. And I actually have no idea if Cersei's gonna lay this year. She's acting like she's gonna lay. It's not obvious if she's got eggs or not, so if she does, it's gonna be literally like 3 or 4 eggs, and that's it. That's all she's gonna lay, which I'm not mad about. I've got my hands full already. And that would be a Het Snow clutch. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching.